So this happened. Yep, this is me on Beyonce's internet spilling my guts out. I was clearly overwhelmed and needed to vent. And I thought the internet was the safest place to do so. I know, the irony. There are many stressors, triggers, trauma, limiting beliefs that prevents us from living our best lives. We procrastinate, we lash out at others, we make a ton of excuses to avoid taking accountability. But the truth is, we can change, we can evolve, we can become a better person. I recently came to the realization that I needed to continue to grow. In my last video, I said that I wanted to become Gen 2.0, 2.5 if you want to call it that. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you exactly how I plan on going about it, and hopefully it inspires you to do the same. First thing first is to decide that you want to make a change. I knew I needed time to reflect. I needed to spend some time with my emotions in order to fully understand them. What made me want to change? What makes me tick? And most importantly, who did I want to change into? That is a simple yet difficult question to answer. Who do I want to evolve into? It's such a weird way to think about it, but once you have a clear, actionable goal, then it's easier to be disciplined and work towards it. I know for me, if I don't write it down, if I don't see it over and over, then it's out of sight, out of mind. So I had to take the time to figure out my goals and self-reflect. And that in itself is no easy task. It's difficult to look at yourself in the mirror and admit your shortcomings. But the point isn't for me to completely change who I am, become this brand new person, this brand new butterfly, but it's to build on what's already there and shed what no longer serves me. It took a long time for me to come up with this new person, and it took even longer to put it on paper or on my iPad. When I sat down to come up with ideas, I drew a blank. I wasted some time, I cleaned my office, I read, I painted my nails. I went on a run to clear my mind, and then once I couldn't procrastinate anymore, I went to work. I'm not even quite done, if I'm honest. But I wrote down the values that mattered to me, a few things I want to focus on, and also tried to write down a mission statement. It actually started with a rough draft and apparently a drawing of my fingers, but then I polished it further into the document that you are seeing. No, I don't have my mission statement written down yet, and I'm not rushing to write one, but I want to develop it over time. Let's take a moment and talk about what a personal or a mission statement is. I got the idea from reading this book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I actually read this book just a few years ago, and I realized I didn't take any action on what I learned. And it's not because I didn't enjoy the book. I actually really liked it, but I guess I didn't write anything down. You know, out of sight, out of mind. Anyways, a mission statement is 1 or 2 sentences or a few paragraphs that define you as a person. It identifies your purpose and why it's important to you. Think about it this way. What would you want your friends and family to say about you at your funeral? Did you value your family? Did you nurture the relationships in your life? Or were you someone that everyone avoided? I still need to take the time to think about these questions myself. But it became easier once I figured out which values mattered to me. So let's quickly talk about values. Values are the things that are important to you and is reflected in the way that you live and work. They should determine your priorities, and deep down, they're probably the measure that you're going to use to see if your life is turning the way that you want it to. When I was trying to figure it all out, I started with the values I knew mattered to me and just build up from there. I literally had to Google a list of values, girl, to find new ones that mattered to me. And of course, this is a list that I will continuously update, especially as I grow, as I evolve. But for now, this is a great start. Some of the values that matter to me include being kind, being reliable, having respect. Respect is a big one for me, and integrity. And also, I want to inspire you guys. That's why I'm making this video. In addition to values, there are a few things that I know I want to work on. One of the biggest one is to not feel guilty about my decisions and my choices. This is a big one. If you're Caribbean, African, human, I feel like a lot of us struggle with this. We struggle with not feeling guilty when we say no. It's something that I noticed about me that I've been working on for the past year, but I have a long way to go. Of course, I understand the importance of a healthy boundary, but I can't help it. I still feel really guilty when I have to say no, especially when it comes to family members or people that are close to me. It's just automatic. As soon as I say no, or as soon as I feel like I'm letting them down, it really affects me. But I need to do better. I need to practice that muscle because protecting your peace and protecting your energy is so important. Other things that I want to focus on are developing healthy habits and routines, keeping a clean space and environment, meditating possibly. I've never tried it before, but I've always been interested. Positive thinking, self-awareness, and self-management. Now you're probably wondering, how do I plan on learning all of this new information and all of these new skills? And the answer is books. Books have always been a big part of my life. It's a habit that I picked up from my dad ever since I was really young. So I definitely want to continue incorporating reading into my day-to-day. And I know it's something that's going to help me on this journey. I mentioned earlier that I read The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People just a few years ago. And it's one of those books that really kickstarted my self-development journey. I would love to make a video on all of the books that I've read so far that helped me. So if that's something you're interested in, then leave a comment down below. Currently, I am reading this book though. Emotional Intelligence 2.0. Fun fact, I got this book from the thrift store. Yes, girl, the thrift store. It's not only for clothes. They have some great self-development books for super cheap. I paid about $2 for this one, and so far, I can't put it down. Oh yeah, the bad part about buying a used book is the fact that someone else may have highlighted or written all over it. It doesn't bother me though. The messaging is still the same, and for the price that I paid, hey, I can live with that. So this book came with a passcode where you can take an EQ test online. The previous owner hadn't used it, so girl, you know I helped myself, and I scored a whooping 61. 61? Excuse me? I definitely wouldn't have scored myself so low, but that in itself shows you how disconnected we can be with who we think we are versus what everybody else sees us as. Does that make sense? Anyways, clearly I have some work to do. I digress. Some of the things I love about this book so far is the emphasis on emotional intelligence and how it's basically a skill. It's a muscle. We can work it out, we can develop it over time, and we can learn how to better control and manage our emotions. By the way, emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize and understand emotions within yourself as well as others and use that awareness to manage your behavior and relationships. Did you know that only 36% of people are able to accurately identify their emotions as they happen? And since we're emotional creatures, our first reaction to an event is going to be an emotional one. We have no control over this part of the process, but we can control the thoughts that follow an emotion and how we choose to react afterwards. The book breaks it down into 2 main categories: personal and social competence. Under personal, we have self-awareness and self-management. And under social, we have social awareness and relationship management. Anyways, I'm truly enjoying this book. That's basically all I'm trying to say. I can't put it down. I also wrote a list of books that I want to read. So if you have any suggestions, I'm definitely open to that. Leave a comment down below. It's not only going to help me, but it's also going to help somebody else that happened to see your comment. Now that I've decided somewhat on who I want to become, I definitely plan on continuing therapy so that I can deal with some of my past trauma. Now, I've been in therapy for the past 3-4 years, on and off, but this time is so different. I'm a lot more intentional as to why I'm going, and the goal is to peel back these layers and really understand why I am the way that I am, why I react to certain things in a certain way. So it's definitely more intentional. It hasn't been easy, but I found a really good therapist, and she gets me to fill out these weekly goals, which keeps me accountable and keeps me going. You know, I don't even have to leave the house. I don't even have to get ready for it. So it's kind of like a win-win. Onto journaling. So back in 2019, I started to use a bullet journal. I mainly use it to keep track of my influencer work, so YouTube videos, Instagram uploads, as well as tracking my analytics. Well, kind of. Since getting an iPad, I found myself using an actual journal less and less. And it's not because I didn't like journaling. I actually enjoyed it. I can't tell you why I stopped, other than the fact that, you know, I got an iPad and I started acting brand new. Anyways, I plan on picking journaling back up. There's something about putting pen to paper that's always been appealing to me. And there are many reasons why someone would want to journal, but for me, it's to keep track of my mood, my mental health, keep track of my progress, and also recognize some triggers and find ways to control them or to deal with them. I also think it'll provide a great opportunity for some positive self-talk and identifying or at least keeping track of my negative thoughts. That's something I noticed about me that I definitely want to work on. I can be very narrow-minded with how I see an event. So I'm hard on myself and I see the glass half empty versus half full. So it's all mindset. So being able to like track that and work on that is another way that I will be using my journal. I can't wrap this video without talking about the importance of resting. We all know that we need to rest. We need to replenish our cups and protect our energy. But do we actually put this in practice? It's actually so difficult for me to rest because I'm practically a workaholic. You know, your girl got goals. I'm trying to accomplish things. I'm trying to set things off the ground. So I can definitely put myself and my rest on the back burner, but no more. We are going to start prioritizing rest because if I'm going to be doing all of this work, I need to rest. I did take a little break last week, so I didn't upload any videos and I didn't really work too hard. And that made me realize that I hadn't taken a break in a while. I haven't had a full day off in I don't know how long. So we're definitely gonna start prioritizing that, at least one full day off a week where I'm not working my 9 to 5 or my influencing work. It's just gonna be Jen's day. So I definitely wanna prioritize that. So yeah, these are the ways that I plan on changing my life. I would love to hear from you if you feel comfortable. If there's some things that you wanna work on, leave a comment down below. But I can't end this video without saying a massive thank you. Thank you to all of you guys who watched my last video and reached out, left a comment, slid in my DM. I'm still catching up. I'm still trying to answer everyone. So I just really want to say that I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And your kindness was so overwhelming and it did not go unnoticed. So thank you. I really gave it some thoughts as to how I was gonna come back after my super emotional video. I thought about just, you know, sliding in a hair video like it didn't happen, or couch conversation, but it didn't feel right. Plus, after resting, I really felt really creative, so that's why I put this video together. I hope that you enjoy it, and I also hope that you join me on this journey of self-development. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up on your way out. Leave a comment below if you feel comfortable sharing ways that you want to improve your life or things that you want to improve. And I will see you in my next one. Bye.